There's a strange paradox about the internet. It's the most powerful invention of our age, shaping our politics, our friendships, even the way you found this video. And yet, if you ask people who invented it, most couldn't tell you. They might mention Silicon Valley billionaires or a company like Google or Facebook, but those names came later. The real foundations, the invisible skeleton that allows billions of devices to speak to one another, were built long before, by a man you've probably never heard of. A man who should be as famous as Edison or Einstein, but instead he simply disappeared. His name was Paul Le Roux, or at least that's one of the names history remembers him by. In the late 1980s, while personal computers were still toys for hobbyists, this young programmer was already dreaming of something far bigger. Not a single machine, not a company, but a network. A world where any two computers could share information as easily as people talking on the street. It sounds obvious now, but at the time, the idea was radical. The United States military had its ARPANET. Academics had crude experiments, but no one had designed a system meant for the masses, flexible, open, and unstoppable. Paul was just a kid from Zimbabwe. No elite training, no government funding. He worked alone, late at night, teaching himself programming from second-hand books. And then, at an age when most people are still figuring out who they are, he created the blueprint for what would become the modern internet. The code was breathtaking in its simplicity. It allowed machines to break down messages into tiny packets, shoot them across vast distances, and reassemble them instantly on the other side. Today, that's how everything works, from your Netflix stream to a text message sent from one side of the planet to the other. But here's the catch. Paul didn't patent it. He didn't build a company. He released his ideas to the world, open source, and then he vanished. Some say he was too idealistic, believing technology should belong to everyone. Others whispered darker theories, that governments forced him into silence, afraid of what he had built. Because if you could connect the entire planet, you could also undermine every border, every authority, every attempt at control. For years, Paul's name appeared only in obscure footnotes of early networking papers. Other men, with louder voices and stronger institutions behind them, would take the credit. They got the awards. They got the history books. Paul got forgotten. But then, something strange happened. In the early 2000s, investigators stumbled across fragments of code in a series of encryption tools spreading online. The fingerprints, the style, the quirks, the elegance matched Paul's. It was as if a ghost had returned. Journalists tried to track him down. They found traces, a post office box in Australia, a property in the Philippines, a bank account registered in Hong Kong. Each clue led further into the shadows. Some claimed he had joined organized crime. Others believed he was working secretly with intelligence agencies. One rumor suggested that a piece of his code, a security system known as E4M, had been quietly adopted by the US government, buried inside classified defense software. If true, the boy who built the internet was also protecting the world's most dangerous secrets. But here's the haunting part. Paul Le Roux was finally captured in 2012, not as a visionary, but as a criminal mastermind. The open-source prodigy had transformed into a cartel boss, running drugs, weapons, and even assassination plots. The man who once dreamed of connecting the world had instead become one of the most feared figures in the shadows of globalization. So which is true? Was he the genius who gave us the internet, or the villain who exploited it? Maybe both. And maybe that's the uncomfortable truth about technology itself. It begins as an idea, often beautiful, idealistic, but once it's released into the world, it belongs to no one and to everyone. A tool that can connect, but also divide, that can empower, but also destroy. Paul Le Roux vanished into prison, where he remains today. History will likely never place his name beside Tim Berners-Lee or Vince Cerf. But perhaps it should, because without his early vision, the world we live in, the world where you're hearing my voice right now, might not exist. The irony is cruel. The man who built the foundations of our connected world is himself disconnected from it, erased from public memory, locked away in silence. And yet, every time you send a message, stream a video, or watch a documentary online, you're walking through the ghost of his invention. So the next time you think of the internet as just a machine, remember this: it was born from a dream of a young man who believed in connection, who believed in sharing, and who paid the ultimate price for it. Because genius is never just genius. It is fragile, it is flawed, it is human. And sometimes history prefers to forget its most dangerous creators.